What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from AConnectionTV.com and A Connection TV here on YouTube, the two places on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And I'm here to talk to you guys about WandaVision! So, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and now episode 4 are out. And I feel like there's something to talk about now, okay? Before I get into this review, I need you guys to do me a solid. Follow and become a member to my online streaming network, watchactv.com. It is a miniature Netflix, and we produce original content that we upload weekly. There are a lot of shows coming up. Shout out to everybody that is subscribed right now. Thank you so much for supporting. It is so difficult to get people to support, but thank you to those who are supporting. And that's all that I want to tell you guys to do. Go and be a member, become a member of the Watch ACTV squad, the ACTV squad. Go to watchactv.com right now, and there is a mobile app for Apple and Android. So, for those of you that don't know, I am Marvel all day. I love DC, but I prefer DC animation because DC animation seems to get it right depending on whatever it is that they're talking about. But 9 times out of 10, I'll love the DC animation before I even consider or care about the DC movies, the DCEU. I didn't care about Justice League. It was a wash. I liked the first Wonder Woman and I liked the Aquaman. But Wonder Woman 1984, trash. And not all of the Batmans, but a lot of the Batmans, trash. I feel like they made Batman like 90 years old in every freaking Batman because the way that he fought was just so elderly. But suffice it to say, I'm not here to talk about the DCEU, and I'm sure a lot of you are mad about my opinion about the DCEU. But here at A Connection TV, we adopt similar connections despite our differences. And the similar connection that I want to adopt with you guys is for the love of WandaVision. Hopefully you guys love WandaVision because I do. Now, disclosure, I am going to be talking about episodes 1 through 4, mainly episode 4. So if you have not watched it, if you have not seen it, if you don't like spoilers, tune out, okay? I am not Grace. I love Grace, by the way. It would be amazing if Grace would ever review any of my work. I wouldn't want her to review it now because she's like such a professional and like she reviews like, you know, like cinema quality stuff, high production value stuff. But I love Grace, Grace Randolph. If you don't follow Grace, you need to follow her. She's super dope. And she is the first person where I actually watched like a live reaction video where she has the like ticker down at the bottom counting through the episode. It's the first person I've ever done that with. That's how much I respect and appreciate her opinion on things because we usually jive, right? And so, yeah, let's talk about WandaVision. One thing I don't like. Well, so how can I do this? Let's talk about what I love, and then we're going to talk about what I don't like. I'm not going to go like a full review on every episode because I'm sure you've probably seen all the reviews already on YouTube, but I'm going to talk about what I like, and then I'm going to talk about what I don't like. And this is about episodes 1 through 4. Immediately watching WandaVision, Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen are phenomenal actors. Immediately when episode 1 started, I was so into their acting. I was like, wow, they are really selling this era. They're selling this journey that I'm on right now. And there's so many questions that I have about watching them on a black and white sitcom, but they're selling it. Every era that came about on my screen from episodes 1 to 4, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany sold me on the acting. Pure A1. Every scenario, just wow. Wow. So that's positive number 1. Not all of the cast is acting as good as Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. Not all of the cast, but those two freaking phenomenal. Second thing I wanted to talk about that I like. 3 things that I like and 3 things that I don't like. We'll do that. Second thing that I want to talk about that I like is how fast we're getting through all of this. Like, we're not spending 2-hour-long episodes in the 50s, 2-hour-long episodes in the 60s. Like, we're fast tracked through this, right? So I'm appreciative of that. Third thing that I want to talk about is the concept of putting connected MCU content on Disney Plus. I'm here for it all day long, and I love it. And there's nothing else to say about that. Now, on to the things that I do not like. Number 1, all of the actors aren't grade A. A lot of the actors, like, you can tell, like, the movie actors from, like, the sitcom actors, there's a huge, stark difference in talent. And I don't like how they throw everybody all in one episode, because I feel like all of the, like, high grade quality actors should all be in one show together. The mix of the blend is very noticeable to someone like me. It just is. Second thing that I don't like is the fact that the episodes are only 30 minutes. Why? I don't understand it. Like, because when we get to episode 4, I don't want to be done in 25 flipping minutes, or 35 flipping minutes, however long it was. It's not over. It's not over. You guys give me all of this goodness and then you turn it off? What are we talking about here? I'm confused. Why is it going off in 25 to 35 minutes? I don't understand it. Third thing that I do not like about the series I guess I could throw this in there. I don't like that it's weekly. Like, I know it would be dumb for them to put everything all up at once. We still have to get to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I just don't like having to wait per week. But that's not really a bad thing. It makes me go back to Disney Plus every week, right? Because that's the only thing that I really watch. That's the only thing that I am watching. But I did recently rewatch Ultron. I rewatched Winter Soldier. I rewatched Endgame. So, like, I'm the Marvel head, right? I'm loving Disney Plus for the Marvel situation. Anyway, so 3 things that I love, 3 things that I'm aggravated with. Well, 2 things really, because the third one, it just, it is what it is. They have to keep going. Namely, I want to talk about episode 4. Episode 1, 2, and 3 gave us, Wanda's vision. But then we get to see how we get to that from a different perspective. And we get to see Monica Rambeau's perspective of this. It's about time, 30,000 years later, we have a black character, a black woman character that has a role in the MCU. Finally. Like, Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie. It covers all basics. It allows Black Widow to be strong. It introduces us to Falcon, a black lead character or a black main supporting character, however you want to deem it. And the action was grade A. Thank you to the Russo brothers. Again, my favorite MCU film, period. So when we get to WandaVision and Monica Rambeau is introduced, I'm like, okay, cool. I know that she has energy absorbing powers. She's basically energy in itself. But, Marvel has never introduced mutants to the MCU. How are they going to do this? It's famously known, if you don't know this by now, it's famously known that Wanda Maximoff is so powerful that she at one point in the comics said no mutants, and damn near 95% of the mutants were wiped out in existence. Why did they create this story? I don't know. I didn't read the arc, but Everybody knows House of M. Everybody loves House of M. It's like one of the main story arcs of the Marvel Universe that keeps people motivated and keeps people excited, right? Secret Wars, all of that is all in the same group. So with Kevin Feige finally being able to get all of the Marvel characters together, X-Men Marvel characters together away from Fox, I'm ecstatic. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Fantastic Four. I want to see Rogue. That's what I want to see. I want to see Storm, Rogue, and Fantastic Four by the MCU. An adult Rogue, an adult Storm who's not a punk, who's Omega level, like they're making Wanda Maximoff to be right now, and Fantastic Four. That's what I want to see before I perish, before I cease to exist. I want to see that from the MCU. Kevin Feige has to be responsible. I don't want some assistant or intern that's been following him all these years and now we got him. No, Kevin Feige needs to deliver an adult Rogue, an adult Storm, and Fantastic Four from the MCU's vision. Anyway, suffice it to say, Monica Rambeau is here. So episode 4, we get to see her come into the story and her perspective and how she got into this hexagon reality, warped reality. Immediately, we start with the blip. Okay, cool. Great way to segue into any storyline is to start from the blip. Writers have at it, have a lot of fun, make it make sense, right? Cool. She's blipped in. The graphics weren't as fine as they were on Endgame or Infinity War, but budget. Cool. So she's warped in, and I'm captivated by her acting, but I'm thrown off by everyone else acting around her, right? It's throwing me off. TV acting versus movie acting. Thrown all the way off. But I'm drawn into her because she's an African-American woman, and I'm excited at the fact that she has lines and she's important and she's Monica Rambeau, right? Super excited. So, she finds out that her mom has passed 3 years ago, or 3 years ago due to cancer, and 2 years ago after the blip, and then it's been 3 years, so it's been a total of 5 years. And so she finds that out. She ends up going back to Sword. Her mom's the founder. I think Maria Rambeau is the founder. And she's finding out what has taken place in the last 5 years. Her mom put into effect these rules to ground anybody that comes back from the blip, just in case they come back, and just in case they're not going crazy or whatever, because there have been some ages that have come back that have gone crazy. So Monica Rambeau is grounded. She doesn't want to be grounded, and it's interesting because coming back after this traumatic experience, she still seems a little level. She seems level-headed, period, right? And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm interested in this character. Let's go. Let's get to the nitty gritty, right? So she has an FBI case. FBI is looking for a missing person or whatever. And this missing person was last seen going to Westview, a town that seems to be non-existent to the rest of the world or the surrounding world, because they're all affected by this warped hexagon force field that's surrounding Westview. Now, apparently Westview is not real, but Eastview is. Okay, cool. Monica takes out this helicopter, this drone, and she decides to fly it into Westview just to see what's going on, to get a bird's eye view of what's happening in Westview. Unbeknownst to her, there's a force field around Westview. They don't see the force field, it's invisible. She drives the drone through, the drone disappears. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go. She is so caught up in the wow, it disappeared, where did it go? She goes to the force field, she starts to see it, she puts her hands through it, she's enticed by it, and then she's sucked in, right? The FBI agent is alarmed. he calls everybody that he needs to call, and then within 24 hours, every specialist within, let's say, a 300-mile radius, 200-mile radius is coming to figure out what's going on with Westview in this blip. Where is Monica Rambeau? Darcy is brought back in the fold, and I can't remember what MCU movie she was on. Maybe you guys can let me know. I want to say it was Thor, but I could be wrong. I don't remember where Darcy is from. I just know that she's a familiar. And I love the fact that it's just all this connectivity is just amazing. Darcy seems to figure it out, and she pulls up this like photon psionic box or whatever, and it's giving her an ultra old image in the form of a sitcom. We get the TV boxes in the ad. We get the whole concept of the TV period. We get the person that's watching the TV, because Wanda has created this alternate reality, and it's translated visually through sitcoms, old sitcoms. Genius. A way to make entertainment creative. Genius. Whoever came up with this, genius, right? Back to episode 4 though, because 1, 2, and 3 for me were just titillating experiences of us witnessing how great of an actor Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are, right? And then of course it's building up the story, but I'm that type of person that like wants to get to it, right? Back to episode 4. They realize what the force field is doing, and then they start throwing all sorts of drones and everything in this, right? Monica Rambeau is in there. We find out that Westview is a population of 3,928, I believe. Something along those lines. There's people in this city that Wanda has warped, right? They send the B-Man, the hazmat dude, through the sewers in hopes that the force field doesn't go underground. Force field goes underground. He becomes Beekeeper. Beekeeper is a villain in the comics. Cool. A great way for us to get the Beekeeper villain. Great. So then, Darcy sees Monica Rambeau. They try to talk to her through the walkie-talkie. We get all of this. Like, everything's connecting, making sense, right? But when the show starts to pick up for me, when we realize that anything brought into this warped reality changes when it's pulled out. Or let's say when it's brought into the warped reality, it changes, and then when it's pulled out, it remains the same. So when the sewer guy, the guy in the sewers went through the force field, his rope changed into a 1960s, 1970s plastic rope, colorful rope. When they pulled it out, it was the same as it was in the alternate reality, right? Kevin Feige or whoever's responsible for this is smart. Everybody was wondering, how are we going to get mutants? When are mutants going to be introduced? I feel, spoiler alert, and I'm sure you probably, if you're smart enough, you probably already gathered this. I feel that the 3,928 people that are trapped in Wanda's warped reality, when it all dissolves, are going to be left as they are, or as they were in this alternate reality, which means for me that they're going to be turned into mutants. They're going to come out different. They're going to have special powers, special abilities. I believe that episode 4 is how Monica Rambeau gets her powers. I do not believe that Monica Rambeau had her powers before going into this alternate reality. Period. I don't know if I'm the first one saying it, But I feel that that's what's going to happen. There was a reason why they said that there was 3,928 people in Westview. There's a reason why they showed us twice now. Twice or 3 times. Anything that has gone into the force field has changed and has not gone back. Monica Rambeau has changed. When she flew out of the force field, there was a red energy aura surrounding her. And her clothes remained the same. She's changed. I think she has her energy powers from being in this warped reality. And I'm like, that is so freaking smart, because there's no other way. Well, I don't even know what they're going to do with the Eternals. Have no idea what they're going to do with the Eternals. But I really feel like Wanda Maximoff, as powerful as she was to take away mutants from the Earth, she's putting mutants back on the Earth, or on the Earth, period. Again, not knowing what the Eternals' point is. But all this time, we've never been introduced to a mutant until Wanda Maximoff and her twin, although they were experimented on. But Wanda Maximoff is that powerful that she's transforming all 3,928 people in this Westview and turning them into mutants. And Monica Rambeau, when she comes out of the force field, is a mutant, and she's going to have her powers. That's what I believe. It was so good watching Wanda flex on Monica and say, "You're not my friend. You know what's going on. You need to get out of here now." Now, here's the thing. I don't believe that Wanda is in full control. I do believe that this missing person that's responsible, or that they're looking for, that the FBI is looking for, has something to do with everything going on with Wanda. I just believe that in my heart of hearts. I just believe that, because every time that something is kind of found out, we see Wanda getting a grasp of things, and then there's a bloop, and things malfunction and it goes back, or it resets. There's a moment where Wanda does it, and then there's a moment where she doesn't do it. And I believe that this missing person that they were looking for is involved in some way, shape, or form. I don't think there's anything else I want to say. I just want to say Westview is the house of M. Period. Wanda Maximoff is going to be the reason why mutants exist. And I believe she's going to have this. And I also believe that that's the way that Vision is going to come back. Because Wanda has Vision's old decrepit corpse in this alternate reality. And you see in the episode 5 teaser that Vision walks out of the force field. When he walks out of the force field, he drops to his knees. But I don't think he drops to his knees and becomes dead. I think he drops to his knees and remembers everything that has happened. That's what I believe. I believe that Vision is not dead. I believe that Monica Rambeau gets her powers from being forced out of the force field. And I believe that Wanda is responsible for this. But I also believe that whoever they're looking for is the reason why Wanda is going crazy. I could be wrong. But I don't think that I am. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I love Disney Plus, and now that we have this MCU stuff, it's just fascinating to me. I wish these episodes were really longer. I wish the episodes were an hour apiece, because we have to wait a week to watch 30 minutes. That's corny to me. These episodes need to be an hour long. That would be amazing. One's below this video if you agree with me that you believe that the videos should be longer than 30 minutes. Two's below this video if you don't think that they should and you like the fact that they are 30 minutes. I don't know why you would. But I think that's all that I want to talk about. That is. I like WandaVision. I think it's dope. Episode 4 is my favorite so far because we're getting somewhere. The graphics can be a little bit on the Shield side, a little bit on the cheesy side with the graphics and the animation. Like the sword tower, the sword landscape. Can be a little cheesy on the graphics end. But I'm thoroughly impressed and I'm enjoying WandaVision so far so good. I don't need to see any more of the sitcoms. I want to get to the nitty gritty, and I just hope and pray that the remaining of the episodes are longer than 30 minutes. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Deuces. I know. Y'all not about to think about not subscribing to aconnectiontv.com. Copyrighted.